Let's now continue with our conversation. We have via Zoom Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast, who is a political analyst, and as well as Mr. Levi Ndo. Mr. Levi Ndo, back to you. You're just making your point on whether are we likely to see a litany of litigation coming Parliament's way, considering the fact that the EFF, which is by far the second biggest opposition party, indicating that they will not be taking part in the election and are still consulting with their legal team on what to do next. And on the other hand, the DA saying this, the nomination of Ms. Mapisa Nqakula is the biggest mockery of the constitutional and the parliamentary integrity. So are we likely to see more litigation cases coming Parliament's way?
Especially looking at the fact that opposition parties have actually raised their concerns, and also at the same time other organizations have also raised their concerns about the nomination of Mapisa Nqakula. And as for the EFF, Simpiwe, I think it's the best decision to say we're consulting with our lawyers, but also at the same time, remember you've got parliamentary processes that have to run. Now, the question would be whether it was best to do it outside Parliament or to do it within Parliament. It was also going to carry more weight if you have had the EFF raising these issues inside Parliament first and also at the same time pursuing the legal route. But my feeling is that with the response of the many political parties represented in Parliament, they don't seem to be accepting the nomination of Mapisa Nqakula to be the Speaker of the National Assembly. Whether they've got valid reasons or not at this stage is something else. But the point is that she's not being received well by different political parties in Parliament. And you also have got groupings outside Parliament that are still worried about her nomination. And that, for me, it's a message enough that says that something might be wrong with the nomination of the ANC of Mapisa Nqakula. And whether we like it or not, the ANC is going to have sufficient time to justify or to make sure that Mapisa Nqakula is being accepted as the right candidate. It will depend on the approach that the ANC has to take to convince everyone that this was the best decision. But what other people outside the ANC are saying, the statement is clear. It says, ANC, you don't seem to have provided the nation with the right person to become the Speaker of the National Assembly.
Okay, great point you made there, Mr. Ndo. Now, Dr. Breakfast, we may not know at this particular stage the depth of antipathy or the extent of the divisions within the ANC. I mean, for the fact that the decision to nominate Nosiviwe Mapisa did not come specifically from the ANC trenches or the ANC caucus in Parliament, but rather from the mother body, the ANC in Luthuli House. And we know that these votes will be held through secret ballot. Will this not perhaps give room as an act of disgruntlement for whatever reason, give room for the ANC MPs to start voting with the enemy?
Obviously, I think it will escalate the conflict within the ANC in terms of the political blocs or the factions at play. I suspect that some people, because they will be voting in private, they will vote with the opposition. But at the same time, I think some people might have a fear that if the ruling party finds out, they might be disciplined and therefore they might be booted out of the party, meaning that their livelihoods will be affected. So they will carry the mandate or the order of the mother body. On the whole, I expect the election of the speaker to be in favor of the ANC. I think the ANC, they have the numbers. But I think the whole process begs the question for me, whether or not, as citizens of this country, should we not advocate for a mixed bag of an electoral system, namely first past the post and the PR system, so that citizens in general can have maximum participation in some of the decisions that are made in Parliament, because democracy, after all, is government of the people, by the people, and for people, than secondly that's being imposed on the citizens.
Do you think the citizens of South Africa, and in particular the membership of the African National Congress, is happy with the ANC right now? The fact that the ANC is nominating a minister who said that the recent violence and the looting and the vandalism of property was not an insurrection, the fact that so many lives were lost, and the fact that so many businesses were lost, and billions of rand in property and businesses went up in smoke, yet the party is now nominating the person who said that this is definitely not an insurrection, and to an oversight role as significant as as Parliament or as National Assembly Speaker. Do you think that the ANC and South Africans are happy with the ANC right now?
No, I think by and large, the rank and file of the ANC, including citizens outside the ANC in general, are unhappy about the way things are. But at the same time, I don't think that will impact the electoral performance of the ANC, though. Why? Because the support base of the ANC in the main is in rural areas, in townships. So I don't think that terrain will be impacted by this process of electing a speaker. I think the stronghold of the ANC in rural areas is still intact. But I think maybe in urban centers, though, some people might be unhappy about the way things have played themselves out and maybe vote for opposition parties. But I don't think that on the whole, this is going to impact negatively on the electoral performance of the ruling party.
Right. Dr. Ntsikelelo Breakfast and Mr. Levi Ndo, political analyst, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your thoughts and your reflections with us this hour.